topic number 3, and you might have another opportunity to discuss some of that. There was a time when the city of Scottsdale was considered the employer of choice for public safety professionals in the competitive market of public safety personnel, particularly in matters of attraction and retention of personnel. Some might argue that this premise is either past its time or not relevant to the actual quality of public safety. Should Scottsdale be the employer of choice for public safety professionals?
I believe that everyone in Scottsdale wants to have the best public safety team possible. And I believe that the policemen and firemen want to work here because they believe it's the best place to work and they're proud of their job. And they have great training and they feel as though in a few months they're going to have a mayor who respects what they do, listens to what they need, and is there to support them and has their back. And I think that's the most important thing. As many of the officers have said to me, we'll be number 1 in pay one day, we'll be number 3 2 months from now. It doesn't matter. It's all about being respected, well-trained professionals who feel as though the people of Scottsdale value what they do and they come to work every day proud of what they do. So I want to make sure that our police and firemen are paid well and have the resources they need, but I'm not going to play the game of competing city to city for who's number 1. We're going to find a metric. I don't know what that is right now. I want to work with the professionals and say, is it a ratio of the average salary of our citizens or some other metric that we equate our benefits and our salaries to, that as the city does well, our entire city employee team does well. But we're not going to get into a game of we're number 1 and then Mesa trumps us, and then out in Buckeye they can't get good policemen, so they're raising their salaries up $40,000, and then unions come back and compete against us and playing us all against one another. That's not the way to do business. We're all professionals. We can sit down, we can understand what a great compensation is for the people who put their lives on the line for us every day.
I think supply and demand is a reality of any business situation, any employment situation, and we have to recognize that we've got to be competitive. We don't necessarily have to be the top, but we've got to be competitive. And if our prospective personnel, our recruits, are looking at other cities, I think a lot of them would be willing to come here, even though we're not number 1. But I think we may have some trouble attracting people if we're number 10. So I don't think it's appropriate to say we're not going to consider compensation of other communities in competition with us for those recruits. And it's a particularly sensitive issue with folks that require training. It took me a year actually took me 2 years to go through Air Force pilot training because I had a little medical issue. And but for a police officer to survive the recruitment process, it is a very difficult thing. And then to make it through training takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of OJT that's got to go on too. And so when we wind up with a shortage in our manning, we can't fix it overnight. We can't fix it by running an ad on Craigslist and just hire somebody to fill those positions. They've got to be trained, and they've got to be trained the Scottsdale way. And that's an important distinction. So I would not go so far as to say that we can't, that we have the luxury of being able to afford to ignore being competitive in our pay.
The citizens of Scottsdale want to have police and firemen who want to be in Scottsdale. I don't believe that they want to have individuals who will run off to Mesa for an extra $2,000 or $3,000 after they've been trained here in Scottsdale. It'd be great to have homegrown people. We've got 217,000 people in the city of Scottsdale, and I believe that we have a lot of great candidates here in Scottsdale, and I want to attract people from around the country as well. I want our police and firemen to have a great package of compensation and benefits, and I want them to feel proud. And the thing that I think is most important is the training, the respect, the professionalism, the support of the people of the city, the support of the mayor. Those are the things that make coming to work every day important, and that's what makes your job important in having people value you, and that's the key.